welcome on in. It's 7 o'clock. I'm sure people are going to be trickling on in, but the 25 or so of you that are already here, I want to respect your time. Today's agenda, we'll be hitting a little bit of recruitment, follow through stuff, some activities I've been sent by a Cub Master, I believe, last spring, training with Mike Langer, and then we'll push right into the most critical information about the Monster Masherie coming on up with Rob Pattison. Um, if you don't want to use the QR code that's on my screen right now, I'm hitting a Google form for attendance right there so I can track who comes to these. Just today I was signing someone's knot so they could get a whole bunch of recognition because I had then training records, or attendance records, so please do that. So yes, safety minute for today. We're all right in the middle of all of our. We should have our packs and troops calendar planned, but now it's September. We're tweaking those. We're looking ahead, trying to figure out how we're going to execute a whole bunch of activities and what's going on. Just a couple of things to help design your activities and follow through with safe scouting. If you go to scouting.org and you look at that top panel, the second one in is Scouting Safely. All resources for all that is on that website right there. Everything I'm mentioning right now. Keep in mind that every scout should have a up-to-date medical form or annual health medical review. Parts A and B, they need those for meetings. They need those for day outings. They need those for overnights. The Part C with the doctor's signature, that's for any 72-plus hour camping, usually going to camp. But for your own comfort and knowledge of what's going on and your own coverage, so you can do things like make sure people don't have allergies and whatnot. You should have parts A and B from everyone, youth and scouts, as they come to meetings. Once they're signed up, you get YPT from parents, and you get Part A and Part B. They can fill them out right there because it's just the parents' information or knowledge. Guide to Safe Scouting tells us what our scouts can and can't do, and how to do it. So if you're planning something that you haven't done yet or you've historically done, you're checking the Guide to Safe Scouting for that topic to make sure you don't need to change anything. I grabbed a snippet of the age-appropriate activity guidelines. There's a fantastic chart that is less confusing when you stare at it for 15-20 minutes. What every age group can't do. It runs for like 6 pages down. I just grabbed the snippet at the top, but it lets us know that's like, hey, we could be doing cool pioneering stuff with Webelos, but we should not be doing them with our younger cubs unless it's happening at a district camporee. Same thing with shooting sports, but I scroll down further. And a lot of tool use has some of that in Cub Scouts and whatnot. What's appropriate with safety, and also what's appropriate for their age and their ability levels. There's also a list of prohibited activities. Many people often hear that, we can't do that in Scouts. There's a list of prohibited activities and often a reason why. So you can follow through on that. Adult leader trainings, you all know that you need your safeguarding youth, or previously YPT. There's position-specific training, like being a den leader or scoutmaster, and there's also activity-specific training, like water safety and watercraft safety and stuff like that. So those are all mostly available at my.scouting. There are some in-person things, as we'll talk about a little later tonight. And then there's just general safe guidelines. Every activity we do should be handled with supervision, assessment, like medical reviews and stuff like that from our annual health medical review. The scouts are fit and have the skill level to do it, and we have the equipment and right environment to do it. So there's a fantastic resource on making that assessment for everything from a Cub Pack meeting to a like almost full week trek resource for safe guidelines and how to approach that. So all those resources exist. You're not inventing anything in a vacuum. to keep your scouts safe, and you do making smart decisions. It all exists there. So something that we as a council and nationally are being told is that beascout.org is a huge resource for recruiting. Every time we send out flyers, every time we try to connect with scouts, all the national and council paid promotions that are supporting your units, they're all going to beascout.org. Nationally, over 60% of Be a Scout, or 60% of units don't have accurate or even existing Be a Scout meeting dates and times and location. So currently, you may have a couple of scouts trying to join your unit or have tried to join your unit the past years, and they haven't because you're not accurate with Be a Scout. This form on my screen is the one I've shared before. It's the same join one. I put it here so I wouldn't forget it. I'll put it back in the chat in a minute. We're seeing our results from units who have had their Be a Scout just promoted through flyers or just locally. We get council or national promotions coming through. If a scout or a parent goes on that website and creates a link, we're reacting within 48 hours, we get a 55% join rate. Anything after that, we're dropping super hard. So there are a lot of recruitment stuff happening that's not just you in your town, that this is how you get locked into it. If you were in My.Scouting, this image on the right here, on the sidebar of My.Scouting on the left, if you click on your units, on the organization, and I just happen to have my crew on there, this invitation manager is where you find people who are trying to connect with your unit. If everything's correctly set up, your key three are getting emailed that you have someone trying to join your unit. Go ahead, on this Google form, I'm having people put in their meeting times and locations and dates so that our council registrar can double check all those things on beascout.org are correct. But if you go on beascout.org, search your unit, and it's wrong, put in a ticket so that our registrar can fix that for you and you can get those opportunities. Thank you. Last in the spring, I had a Cub Master, I believe, Michael McGuire, reach out to me and send me this huge list of Cub Scouting ideas. Right now, we're trying to make sure our Cubs have a grand time. They stay with us. We have them going through, Bobcat and whatnot. But we could do more. We could make a pack outing happening besides, the Camp Masherie, or the Council Masherie. We could be doing any of these in our relatively local area. So this will be on the recording as well if you want to go through and look on it when I repost it. So there is a lot of opportunity that some of our very successful packs are using this list and sharing this list, what people are doing. If anyone wants to throw in the chat what their packs and troops do that you don't see on this list, I'd be more than happy for you guys to start having that conversation in the background. We can come back to this at the very end. If I got Mike Langer on here, you want to hit our adult training for today? Or adult leader trainings?
Absolutely,
Josh. Josh,
oh, Jeff,
can
please.
I just jump in on that last point, please?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanna reinforce the points that Josh made. When we look at the data we get back from families across the council, but this is Jeff Zemsky. I'm the VP of membership for Twin Rivers Council, as well as Fort Orange membership chair. So when we look at the data from families, when families choose not to continue scouting, the two things that typically bubble up to the top are there was not a good set of program activities that the youth found fun and that they wanted to do. And then there was more opportunities to make the families welcome in the unit. And these points that Josh raised here in terms of ensuring we've got that rich and fun program, whether it's simple, before the meeting, starting activities, to larger events for your pack or troop, they're huge to the retention opportunities.
Thanks for the voice, Jeff. Anything else you feel like we learned from our ProGet Summit, Jeff, you want to throw in there and add?
Yeah, thanks. I would say there's a couple of things. There's always a great opportunity to make sure that leaders are aware of the resources that we as a council have for helping out with that recruiting and membership. We've got the pop-ups, we've got inflatable Velcro archery ranges, the Velcro hatchet range. We print flyers out tailored to your units. So there's a huge amount of resources you can bring to bear. If you want to run a recruiting event, the council will geofence one for you. Support for social media, support for printing, support for lawn signs. So please leverage those resources to make your events more exciting.
Jennifer, can I have you throw your messages or your point into chat? We'll come back to it as a discussion towards the end. That way we keep moving and grooving tonight. Thank you.
And Josh, thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Any other my VP or council level people who want to chat about membership before I throw over to training with Mike Langer?
We had a membership event at Catskill Elementary this past week. We had 14 signups.
Okay.
We gave out 4 packs with forms to join. So applications went out, and we've got an event coming in October 8th at the Accra Community Center, and all these people have agreed to come, and we're going to talk to them about starting a new pack.
Well, thanks for the good news, Elise.
Yep.
All right, Mike. I'm throwing it over to you. I'm deep pinning myself.
All right. Thanks, Josh. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Langer. I'm the Fort Orange District Training Chairperson, and wanted to talk tonight about adult leader training. So as the last few hours of summer slip away, as we all know, fall starts tomorrow, so we're just hours away. This is the time of year that a lot of units start up their programs again. That includes Cub Scout packs getting started, Scout PSA troops getting started up again, recruitment. Josh kind of talked a little bit about that. So this is really just a great time of year for us to really keep in mind about the benefits and the importance of adult leader training and how it really impacts the units. Josh, if you could go to the next slide, please. So first off, what are the benefits of having trained leadership? First off, trained leaders really understand the foundations of the various scouting programs. Again, Cub Scouting, Scouts BSA. They're aware of all of the resources that are available to them to help them perform their roles and be successful in their positions. They've learned tips and ideas on how to build upon their knowledge and experience and just be even better adult leaders for the units. So having trained leadership really helps to improve the unit scouting program. Jeff kind of talked about it. Having better programs, to reverse it. Jeff kind of talked about one of the main reasons folks may leave a program is because the program just isn't running well. It's not a good program. Having units with trained leadership, they're going to have much better experience, much better ideas, much better programs. That's going to be the opposite. You're going to find that you're increasing your recruitment. You're increasing your retention. People aren't dropping out because the program is really good and really fun. I've never heard of someone having too much fun that they had to drop out. So having that trained leadership is also going to tie into your scout recruitment, your scout retention, even your adult leader recruitment and your adult leader retention. Folks that are trained in their positions are more comfortable. They are enjoying it more. They're less stressed. And when those things are in place, they're more likely to keep doing it. It's when they aren't feeling comfortable with their position, they're not sure if they're doing the right thing. That's when they, start to realize it's like, this might not be for me. And you see the adult leader retention dropping. So even having trained leaderships, you're going to see the adults themselves are staying in their positions longer and having more fun with it. Another benefit of the training, it's the gateway goal for pretty much all of the training awards. So what do I mean by training awards? See a lot of people with those square knot badges on their uniforms. Almost all of those pertain to some sort of a training award. So the gateway to earning those awards is to be trained in your position. So just something a little bit extra in addition to all the benefits I already listed. Completing your training also gets you started and gets you through that gateway goal if you're interested in earning any training awards. And then last, it helps the district and the council meet national training goals. So National had many, many years ago established a training goal of having a minimum of 50% trained leadership. That goes at the unit level, at the district level, at the council level. We certainly want to see more than 50. We would love to be at 100%, but National's satisfied if we have at least 50. And so far as the council and the districts, we're all above that, so we're doing great, but we could always do better. So just making sure that we're meeting those goals is really beneficial too. One last item for everyone's knowledge. Once again, there's a trained leader incentive program. We started one last year. I think it had some great success. So this year, the council board has committed to doing another trained leader incentive. So the way that's going to work is it's for the 2025-2026 scouting year. And the deadline for leaders to be trained in their positions is June 1st of 2026. And there's two levels. So units that have between 85 and 94% of their adult leaders trained, they're going to get a voucher for a cabin at one of the council camp properties. And they're also going to get an ice cream pack to do, an ice cream party for their unit. So great opportunity to get out and do some camping. And I don't know if you want to bring the ice cream with you on the camping trip, but you can always do the ice cream party at a PAC meeting. But certainly, worthwhile incentives to get 85 to 94% leaders trained. For units that have 95% or above of their adult leaders trained by June 1st of next year, they're going to get the voucher for the cabin. They're going to get the ice cream. And they're also going to get a $150 credit at the Scout shop for unit-related purchases. So, what a way to really help out your unit in all those ways I already mentioned. But now you're getting a cabin, ice cream, and $150 towards Scout shop purchases. So I can't think of any reason why adults should not be doing their training. So for all these items, a lot of great reasons to do it. Josh, if we could go to the next slide, please. So what does it take to be a trained leader? First off is the basic safeguarding youth training. Now, this replaces the youth protection training. Earlier this year, National rolled out safeguarding youth training as a replacement to YPT. So the way safeguarding youth training works is all adults need to take the initial training. This initial training needs to be completed by May of 2026, regardless of when you may have last taken YPT. So we realize some folks may have taken YPT within the last year. Come May, you're still going to have to do the safeguarding youth training. So by May 2026, all adult leaders have to complete the initial safeguarding youth training. It takes about 45 to 50 minutes. So still a little bit shorter than the youth protection training that we were all familiar with. Going forward, though, the safeguarding youth training requires an annual refresher. Now, the annual refresher is only about a 15-minute course. You're not doing the whole 45 to 55-minute course again. All right. So you do the initial training. That one's good. And then every year thereafter, prior to the anniversary of your initial training, you need to complete the refresher training. I will caution folks, though, if you do not do your annual refresher before your anniversary, then the initial training does expire and you're going to have to take that again. So I highly encourage everyone, and I fully suspect National will send reminders, but I encourage everyone, make sure that you do those refresher trainings every year before your expiration date comes up. And again, 15 minutes and you're good for another year. So that's the first off. Again, instead of YPT, we've got safeguarding youth training. Next is the leader specific trainings. These are all available online in the Scouting U website on my.scouting.org. There's also instructor-led courses for those that prefer an in-person, more real-time kind of interactive training. So either way, online, instructor-led courses, get those done. Some of the benefits of the online training is you can do it at your pace. And actually, I'll talk a little bit about that more. I apologize. I'm actually jumping ahead of myself. So leader-specific training, and then hazardous weather training. This is required for all direct contact leaders. So direct contact leaders are our Cub Masters, our den leaders, our assistant level Cub Masters and den leaders, Scouts BSA level. It's also, our Scout Masters, assistant Scout Masters. So hazardous weather training needs to be done. That is only available online at my.scouting.org website. That expires every 2 years. So safeguarding youth, we're going to have to do annually now, but hazardous weather training is still every other year. I will caution folks, though, if you are position trained and you let your hazardous weather training expire, you actually lose your trained status. So keep that in mind. What I kind of recommend to folks is when you go to do either your initial training for safeguarding youth or one of your refreshers, even if your hazardous weather isn't due at that time, just go ahead and do it anyway. Try to sync up your hazardous weather with your annual safeguarding youth trainings, and then just get them done all at once. And this way, you don't have to worry that either one of them are expiring. Because, like I said, unfortunately, if hazardous weather training does expire, you do lose your train status until you renew it again. Andrew, for hazardous weather training, how can I see when my leaders expire? YPT is on the training report with an expiry, but hazardous weather is not. What you would need to do, Andrew, is you would need to go into the actual training records for your direct contact leaders, and then you should see that the last time they took hazardous weather training, and you would know if they're coming up for expiration. So you're right, there is an actual report just for the YPT or now the safeguarding youth. The hazardous weather, you've got to look at it more the individual level and make sure that they're staying up to date. So again, hazardous weather training needs to get completed, and then this is applicable to Scouts BSA, not for Cub Scouts, but there is an outdoor training that's also required for Scout Masters, Assistant Scout Masters. They need to complete Introduction to Outdoor Leader Skills, which is also known as IOLS, and that is instructor-led as well. There's no online component. Okay, Andrew, I can certainly stay on if you need help. We can try to walk through it. I can show you how to check on that hazardous weather training. It's actually pretty straightforward. All right, Josh, if we could go to the next slide. So I got a little ahead. So here's some of the benefits of the online trainings. First of all, as I mentioned, all of the trainings are available at my.scouting.org. All of the position trainings are there. So there's convenience to that. The training progress is automatically tracked. So folks don't have to complete the trainings all in one sitting. They could do it module at a time. They can sit down and do a few modules a day and next day do a couple more. The online trainings can really be completed at the person's convenience. They don't have to worry about losing their progress. Another benefit to the online training, modules that are specific to multiple positions If you complete it under one position, you don't have to complete it under a second position if you happen to switch positions. So, for example, if you do the training as a den leader and you complete it online, and one of the modules is, the Cub Scout outdoor program, for example. So you've already taken that as a den leader. Now you transition also into a Cub Master role. You go to sit down and do your Cub Master training. You're going to find that the outdoor program for Cub Scouts module is already completed. You don't have to take it again. So there are a number of positions that the majority of the modules are very similar between them. So you may transition from, committee member to committee chair, for example, and you may only have to do one or two more modules to finish your training. So completing it online as well is really beneficial. We never know when we're going to transition into a new position. So having done it online, if there are modules that are in conjunction with multiple positions, if you transition into one of those other positions, those modules are already complete and you don't have to take them over again. So a lot of benefits to doing the trainings online. Josh, if you could go to the next slide, please. All right, but there's benefits to the instructor-led trainings. The trainings are led by skilled and knowledgeable instructors. These are instructors that have been members of the scouting program for many, many, many years. They've been in many positions. We've been trained as trainers. So certainly a volume of knowledge and a wealth of knowledge available from the instructors who lead these courses. The courses are in person, so they're interactive. You get to network with other scouters, and you already have something in common with these folks. You're at the same training, so you're in the same position. So it's a great opportunity. I highly encourage the discussions when I do the trainings for an exchange of information, and I think people sometimes walk away with even, more enhanced training because they've got some benefit from some of their colleagues and peers in the same position. You can get questions answered in real time. So you do the training online. You may have a question, something isn't clear. You can certainly reach out to someone and get an answer. Obviously, in an instructor-led training, if you have questions, we're going to get those answered for you in real time. And then last, typically the trainings are completed in one session. There were times I would break sessions up into multiple, or trainings up into multiple sessions, just to shorten the two sessions and try to make them a little bit, more tolerable instead of maybe one marathon session. But typically you can get the training done all at once and you're good to go. So there's certainly a number of benefits to the trainings in person. And yep, Andrew, thank you for putting that in there. I think that comes up at the end of my slide deck, but yep, we do have a den leader training coming up, so we'll talk about some upcoming trainings in a moment, but I appreciate you posting that. All right, Josh, if you can move on to the next slide. Thank you. So training opportunities, there's council and district opportunities. So certainly take a look at the TRC calendar. The trainings are typically advertised in various messages and communications that are sent out at the council level and sometimes at the district level. So there's certainly a number of opportunities for you to be aware of trainings, and the trainings are usually set up on the calendar. You can register right from the TRC calendar for those training events. Unit-specific trainings can also be arranged if for some reason units are just struggling to get folks to attend an event, or for some reason they're just not getting online when it's so convenient to do so. Feel free to reach out to me or your district training chairperson, and we can always look into opportunities to try to do unit specific trainings and help get folks trained in their positions. But really what it comes down to, though, and I have it here, and I truly believe this: every scout deserves a trained leader for so many reasons that I've talked about. So really, there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing those trainings. We should be encouraging our new leaders. We should be encouraging our veteran leaders. Let's get everyone trained. Let's try to even get to that 100% and just set the bar for even the national level. I think we can do it. So Josh, we can just go to the last slide. So here, Andrew, as I mentioned, so here are just a couple upcoming trainings. We have Baloo coming up this weekend at Rotary Scout Reservation. This is the outdoor training required for Cub Scout adult leaders to allow their packs to do overnight family camping, as well as allowing their Weeblos and Arrow of Light dens to go on camping trips themselves. So registration is closed, but there's still plenty of room available. So spread the word. If there are folks that, are interested in taking it, but for some reason didn't register in time, reach out to me. I can work with them. I can work with the council. We can open registration up and get it registered. If that's the case, I'd really like to do it in the next day or so. I really, people signing up Friday night, the night before, they usually don't have time to get themselves prepared and do prerequisite training. So if you do know of folks that want to do the training this weekend,